Speaking of which, there was a debate in South Carolina. Let me ask you this question, Jamie. You and I are running against each other for, let's say, I don't know, the Senate seat in South Carolina.
Plausible.
I have just tested positive. I've been around a bunch of people who've been tested for COVID positive, right? Like on the Judiciary Committee, because my name is Lindsey Graham. And your name is, as you know, Jamie, except for your last name is Harrison, and you're a man. And you're running against me in for the Senate seat. And you're running against me. And would you go to a debate with me?
I'm going to say no. Maybe a Zoom debate.
Okay. You wouldn't do an in-person debate?
Yeah, keep your germs away from me.
Well, Jaime Harrison said he would. Here it is. Here he is. This is is this from the debate? Brendan?
This is from the debate. We also have a photo of the debate set up.
Okay, let's see the debate set up. He insisted on I wouldn't do this, but he was like, I don't want you. I mean, really, that should have been put around Graham, but he wouldn't do it. I have a feeling like the safest thing would have been to put that around Graham. Graham was refusing to do it. Meanwhile, look at it. I think he's coughing in that picture. My God.
Oh my God.
Right? I mean, how do you not? How does Lindsey Graham like even justify that? But here is the moment.
It's biological warfare.
Yeah, it really is. Here is Jaime Harrison being asked about the fact that South Carolina is one of the few states, well, maybe there's a little more than a dozen states, that has not expanded the Affordable Care Act, or I should say Medicaid, as provided by the Affordable Care Act, to literally, I think it's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, who would be eligible in South Carolina. And here is Harrison's reply.
Our next question from Bill Sharp.
Thank you, Judy. Gentlemen, I think neither of you has to worry about health care coverage. Goodness knows, Senator, you've got the Cadillac of health care coverage as a U.S. Senator. And Mr. Harrison, I suspect you don't have to worry about health care coverage either. But thousands of people in South Carolina do. And guess what they're on? The Affordable Care Act, called Obamacare. And they get pre-existing conditions covered, Senator, Mr. Harrison, with the Affordable Care Act. Now, we have an opportunity in South Carolina to expand Medicaid as part of the Affordable Care Act. But have we done it? No, no, no. We're one of 14 states in the entire country that refuses to expand Medicare. So, Mr. Harrison, Senator Graham, my question to you is the Affordable Care Act worth it? Do you want to do away with the Affordable Care Act, or do you want to keep it and expand Medicaid to help poor people in South Carolina? Thank you, gentlemen.
This is first to you, Mr. Harrison.
Well, thank you for this question. And this is yet another personal one. You know, my grandfather, who worked all of his life, ended up 50 hours a week working the construction on the roads here in South Carolina, never had health care until he found out he had undiagnosed diabetes. And then eventually had to lose his leg and some toes, and eventually he died because of complications for diabetes. There are so many people in South Carolina right now suffering in silence. And actually, a correction, South Carolina is now one of 12 states that still have refused to expand Medicaid. And they haven't done it because we can't pay for it. The government, the federal government was going to pay for the first 5 years of this thing 100%, and then the state had to pick up 10% after that. It is because it was tied to Barack Obama. Let me tell you something. Part of the reason why we have had 4 rural hospitals to close in South Carolina over a few years, and if you live in one of those communities and you have diabetes or complications with your pregnancy and all, and now it takes you, instead of 10 minutes to go to hospital, 50 minutes to go to hospital, that is a death sentence.
I mean, there it is. I still contend there are 2 good parts of the Affordable Care Act. One is the patient protections, no pre-existing conditions, no rescission, no limits annually or lifetime in terms of like if you get hit by a bus and there's a lot of complications or you get cancer, this and that, they can't cut you off because your medical expenses have become too expensive. 26-year-olds can go on their parents' plans. Some things to actually establish what you're selling is health insurance. You have to offer certain basic services, colonoscopies or mammograms. That part of the Affordable Care Act, good. The affordable part, not so good. But the expansion of Medicaid, also good. Now, I prefer, and hopefully we can get there, that everybody gets basically a version of Medicaid or Medicare, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Where you're getting a lot of different services. People who I know have been on Medicaid, the only trouble is sometimes finding a doctor, which of course is also sometimes a problem with your private insurance. But the coverage itself is pretty good.
It's really good.
And Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All is really more like Medicaid for all, but there's, supposedly a stigma attached to Medicaid because it's available to low income people as opposed to, let's say, older people or Medicare, whatever. I don't care what you call it. But the expansion of Medicaid has allowed hundreds of millions, in fact, 10 million people to get health insurance where they couldn't get health insurance before. I don't know how, again, Medicaid sometimes hard to access, but that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And the next step for the left with, Medicaid is like federalizing it basically and not letting it allowed to be block granted by these states, which will take it away from healthcare purposes and send it to, family value centers and things like that, all the way down the line.
Yes. The block granting of Medicaid has been a right-wing sort of fantasy for an extended period of time. And that just allows states to do essentially what they're doing now, which is to deny coverage to people.